and ensure that you will get that R1,000 back if you don't get your interest in it, on it.
But I am not ensured that I will get that R1,000 back. If I travel this morning, which I did, and I passed a crossing at a robot, and there was somebody standing begging for money, and I gave him 10 rand. There's no way, sir, I can go back tomorrow to that person and says, give back my 10 rand. I've given it to him. I've donated it to him. And that is, I think, what the majority of people in this system that is against and attacking the system doesn't understand. But the participants in the system clearly understand that. Now, if by in a month or two I run into some trouble and I request some help, the computer will connect me with somebody who is prepared to assist me.
So, if you put in money...
It's a system, therefore, of mutual donation exchange.
So if you put in money, be aware that you will not be able to get it back. That is essentially what you say. So
of course.
Yes.
Of course.
So if you put in 20,000 rand, don't even expect to get it back. But there is a possibility or a probability that somebody will assist you.
Correct. And that is what the website clearly warns. If you join, there is the conditions, and you've got to tick that block to say that you've read the conditions and that you understand them. Now, a lot of criticism is leveled against MMM that it is allegedly
a Ponzi scheme or a
exploiting the poor and the illiterate. Let me make a comment on that. If you are literate enough to be able to surf the web and to navigate your way around on the internet and to be able to read and understand what you're doing, you certainly don't qualify to be illiterate. And MMM, and there's huge, many examples of where MMM is assisting communities, the very poor, through donations to churches and church groups and social groups. But you see, at the heart of this is this alternative economy, this alternative way of living. We're conducting workshops to tell people to get off the financial grid. A so-called expert on one of the media, internet media sites, which I won't mention the name, last week questioned this 30% and said, money doesn't grow on trees.
Yes.
Well, she's absolutely right. Money doesn't grow on trees. But what she clearly, by saying that, exposed herself is that she hasn't got a clue where money comes from. Money is created out of thin air.
Okay,
banks create 900 rand for every 100 rand that is deposited with them. Just last week, the Reserve Bank created in excess of 18 billion rand out of thin air when it floated a bond on the European market for 1.25 billion euros.
Now, Mr.
That money is created out of thin air.
But let me come to you on this point. You and a number of your participants now have taken the matter to the High Court to seek clarity on whether or not this triple M is an alternative system, as you indicate, or whether it's a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme. Why do you need clarity from the court?
Well, because we are aware and we have written to the National Consumer Council to get clarity on the basis of which they have determined that this is a pyramid scheme. And let me just say one thing. The Consumer Protection Act doesn't refer to a Ponzi scheme at all. In section 43.3, 44.4 and 43.5, it only refers to pyramid schemes, multiplication schemes and chain letter schemes. Now, they're not clear as to what they've actually classified that, but that's on the one hand in January. On the other hand, they say that, sorry, we lack the capacity to fully investigate this, and that's why we've made a statement to the Hawks. Now, how can you classify something as being in contravention with the law when, on the other hand, you admit by yourself that you haven't got the capacity to investigate that?
Now, reports continue quickly on that point.
Well, then again, the Hawks come and they say they're investigating it, and they've solicited the assistance of a number of specialty organizations, and then the spokesman comes and says, our biggest problem is we don't have a complainant.
Okay.
And we beg people to come and complain.
Now,
Now, does that make sense to you that the police will now spend millions of rand to investigate something without a complainant?
Now, but Mr. van Rensburg, reports suggest, though, that Triple M Global, that promised 100% return on investment, closed its doors. Are you not perhaps concerned that it would have an impact on investors here in South Africa?
No, not at all. I think whatever, and I must say that I object to the term investors. Let's refer to them as donors. It has an impact on donors when they are threatened that what they are doing may be illegal. And that has prompted us to approach the High Court and say, well, this is what it is. Let's look at Section 43.3, let's look at Section 44.4, and let's look at Section 43.5, and compare what MMM is to those sections, and then let's decide whether this is in actual fact fall foul of any one of those three sections. But I want to make this point, that Section 43 classifies a scheme if it offers more than 20% above the repo rate, then it is a pyramid scheme. Well, then I want to know whether the Consumer Council, the National Consumer Council, will investigate Netflix, Google, Microsoft, Walmart, who offers on investors on internet royalties up to 80% per month. Okay. If you want to invest that, you're welcome to contact me and I'll show you, I'll put you in touch how you can buy an internet royalty investment.
Mr. van Rensburg, unfortunately, that's where we got to leave, Mr. van Rensburg. Thank you so much for your time and joining us in our Pretoria studios.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That was Dion J. van Rensburg. He is a representative of the Triple M RSA community. Now, they've launched, as you heard there, their application to the High Court to get clarity on whether or not it's a Ponzi scheme or not, or as he called it, an alternative investment fund. Now, MMM Triple M investment scheme is under investigation by the Hawks after it collapsed in Russia. Remember that you can also send us your comments at SABC Newsroom. So let's take a look at what you have to say about this. There you have some of the comments there. This one from Pes Montobi. He says, now I want to know, honestly, how is the Triple M a pyramid, a Ponzi scheme, when I came across police officers ETL checking out their balances? I promise you, Pes Montobi, says that police officers are also in there. Kahile says, at the city, this persistent friend is trying to recruit me into joining the Triple M Ponzi scheme. I don't play like that, says Kahile. This one from Sibo Siso says, government, why are you investigating Triple M and not the South African banks? Because they are the biggest pyramid schemes in the country, so claims Sibo Siso Kumalo. Mo says, before we chastise the corporates for not reinvesting in our economy, Wena, would you invest in a pyramid scheme? And I'm not talking to Triple M people. Well, Mo asked the question. Ndabantle says, do you know of that Triple M money-making scheme and whether it's trustworthy or not? Well, we're investigating like the Hawks, Ndabantle. Those are some of your comments. You can keep them coming right here on our Twitter handle at SABC Newsroom. You can also like us on the Facebook page. If you like us there, you become part and parcel of the Informed here on Newsroom. Now, let's take a look at what is happening on our Facebook page. On the Facebook page there, you can see the Mineral Resources Minister, Mosebenzi Zwane, that has appealed to the mining industry to use